If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that gives to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given to him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Let the brother of low degree rejoiceth in that he exalted, but the rich in that he is made low, because as the flower of the grass he shall pass away. For the sun no sooner rises with the burning heat, but withereth the grass and the flower there that falleth, and the grace of the fashion that it perishes. So shall the rich man fade away in all his ways. Blessed is the man that endures temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised him to those that he loves. Hello, God's people. Thanks for joining us today. I just read to you one of my favorite passages, and that came from the general epistle of James, chapter 1, starting at verse 5. Today's topic is test the spirits. I know that many people out there love to hear all kinds of juicy pieces of knowledge, love to read up on all different sorts of topics, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, you need to temper yourself from receiving information within you as though it were truth without testing it. What you must do is test every spirit that comes across your path, because that spirit could be a guiding light from heaven, or it could be a snare disguised behind a light meant only to confuse you. You see, if someone were to want to trap you, they would hide it. They would hide that trap beneath something or around something that you would think nothing of and just walk right past, or intentionally walk right through. Think about it. Don't you think the devil would operate the same way when it comes to guiding lights and wisdom? Of course. Now, what does it say in 1 John chapter 4 on this exact topic? Well, in the very first verse, talks about testing spirits. And it's important that we understand this. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby ye know the Spirit of God. This is the way that you know the Spirit of God. Listen closely. Every spirit that confesses that Christ is come in the flesh is of God. Now think about this. 2,000 years ago, it wasn't talking about Christ came in the flesh, past tense. It says, is come in the flesh. Think about it now. Here we are, 2,000 years later, Christ returned. Every spirit that confesses the truth of Christ is of God. Truth as you know it, Christ returned. Every spirit that is of God will confess this truth. Okay? Plain and simple. Fact. Fact. According to the word. Okay? I'm going to read on. Verse 3. Every spirit that confesses not that Christ is come in the flesh is not of God. And that is the spirit of Antichrist. Oh, we just identified what Antichrist is too there, didn't we? Not necessarily an individual, but a spirit. And what that spirit clearly is any spirit that does not confess Christ is here in the world today. Because it reads on, I'm gonna go back a little bit so you have some context again. And every spirit that confesses not that Christ is come in the flesh is not of God, and that this is the spirit of Antichrist, whereof you have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world. Add a little bit more context. And has already returned to this world. You are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. They are of the world. Think closely, listen closely. Who should you be listening to, fellow children of God? Not those that are of the world, for they speak of the world, and the world hears them. We are of God. We know that God hears us, and he is not of God, does not hear us. Hereby you know the spirit of truth, and thereby also you know the spirit of error, the spirit of deception. So, beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God. Every one that loveth is born of God, and knoweth God. And he that loves not knows not God, for God is love. In this manifestation, the love of God towards us, because God sent his only Son into the world, his only begotten Son into the world, that we might have life through him. So it's really quite simple. We don't have to make it complicated. Ask of God, receive God's answer, know how to test a spirit. Do they confess Christ in the truth as you know it? If they don't, take every word with a grain of salt. Give them the truth. Let them know who you represent. And know that such knowledge that confesses Christ is in the world today, that is the spirit of truth. So, love God. Love each other. Ask God. Test spirits. All in the name of Lord Rael.